Missed an episode of your favorite podcast? Choose from over a decade of content in our archives, not just the latest episode. All free at GCNlive.com.
This is your call to action. Get prepared, America. Economy, survival, energy, disasters. This is USAPrepares.com. Informative radio, educational radio. Interact now by emailing instructor@USAPrepares.com or text at 434-390-7953. Class, please take your seats. Now, your instructor, Vincent Finelli.
We're broadcasting 2 hours from high atop the Missouri Ozark Mountains. There's a link to all of your instructors on the website, USAPREPARES.com. If you'd like to call us, 866-582-9933. John is engineering the broadcast in Minnesota. I'm Vincent Finelli, and I'm delighted to be broadcasting with Brandon Williams. Welcome, Brandon Williams.
Hi, Vincent. How are you?
So is it just me? Hey, Brandon, you there?
Yep, I'm right here. Can you hear me?
I can hear you just fine. Thank you. Brandon Williams, you are the CEO of Iron Edison Battery Company and your website, ironedison.com. And today, Brandon and I are going to be talking about alternative energy. This is in a series of broadcasts about designing and constructing and implementing an alternative energy system. This is 102 in that series. And we're going to be talking about mini grid, MINI grid. We'll be talking about grid zero, net metering, and we'll be talking about what not to do. And here's why. I did some well, Brandon, let me just tell you that I did some experimentation, and what I found before I met you was the most interesting thing. I could generate my own electricity. I could plug it in to the grid right through our farm here, and I could be billed for the electricity I generated as well as the electricity I consumed. Have you had others experience exactly that? I mean, literally. With an experiment, I was being billed for the electricity I was generating.
I have personally experienced that with my system here at my house, Vincent. So that if you don't be careful with the net metering agreement, you're absolutely right. Your utility can bill you for the electricity that you generate. So it's critically important to get that paperwork in order and get your meters set up just right to get credit for the energy that you're generating.
Right, and I called our utility company and I said, so tell me, this meter, this smart meter that you guys installed, even though I protested and I did not want this particular smart meter, even though I have this, if I plug in my power and attach it to the grid, will it read forward and backward? And they said, no. What we decided to do was the meter only goes one way. So if you generate electricity, we'll bill you for what you've generated. And if you consume electricity from us, we'll bill you for that as well. And the only way that the utility company that provides power to our farm in our area, the only way they will implement a metering system is with 2 meters. So 1 meter is for the electricity that you generate, and it measures that. And then the other meter is for the electricity you consume from them. And what happens is they will do a subtraction and figure out if you have consumed more or less than you've generated. And so let's talk about how this works. Brandon, if let's say I use 100 units of electricity, and let's say 10 of them are generated by me. So 90 come from the utility, 10 units come from me. I would be billed for what, typically, if I have the correct metering system from the utility?
In that situation, you would be billed for a net of 90 units of energy from the grid.
Mm-hmm. And if you don't let these guys know, if you don't let the utility know, and if they don't set up the metering correctly, I would be using generating 10, consuming 10 from them, and I would be billed for, I would be using 100 and generating 10 for myself, and I'd be billed for 100 plus the 10. So it's absolutely critical that if you're going to do this type of mini grid, grid zero, or grid tie, as they may be called, you really need to make sure that the metering is set right. Otherwise, you're going to be shocked with the bill, and there's probably nothing you can do to fix it.
That's right. It's even worse than that, because the solar energy that you're feeding back during the day is typically nobody's home. So you're going to be feeding back power, supposedly rolling back the meter all day long while nobody's home. You could count up those credits, and then when you come home at night, you're going to use all that energy from the grid, and you would count up another large group of credits from the grid. So the way that a typical household uses and produces energy with a solar array would be the worst case scenario for that situation. So yeah, we definitely encourage you to work closely with your utility to get all that proper paperwork and get the net meter installed properly before going online.
Right. So Brandon, let's talk about what is grid zero? What does that actually mean? What equipment is involved? Let's start with there. What equipment is involved, and what does it do?
Grid zero is a new type of solar system that allows you to essentially run your house off the grid using solar and battery, prioritizing those alternative energy sources. The solar inverter will remain connected to the grid and uses the grid really as a last resort. So if you turn on your electric dryer or an electric cooktop and the battery just doesn't have enough power at that moment, it will automatically draw from the grid and support that electrical load from the grid to keep your lights on, keep you cooking, and keep your workshop operating.
Okay, so the plan is to, if I understand this correctly, to generate as much power as I can through a solar array or some alternative method, and then if I consume more than that at the time, then the difference that I need comes from the grid.
That's exactly right. And the beauty of these systems, and the reason why I've really enjoyed working with you over the last couple of months, is we've been able to design this system for your specific needs, for your farm, for the loads on your farm. And as we move forward, we're dialing in exactly that point at which the grid will come on to support your loads based on the size of your solar array, the size of your battery, and the specific loads that you have on the farm. We're able to adjust those points at which the grid comes on. We want to save that until the very last moment, but that's dependent on every individual unique system. It really is unique to you when we're going to use the grid and when we're going to use the renewable source.
So class, let me give you an example. As most of you know, I live on a farm, and I'm a cattle farmer. And one of the things that's absolutely critical here on the farm is water for the cows. And there are times that we've had a drought, and the stream that runs across our farm has dried up. It's a dry stream bed. It looks like the desert. And so we still have to provide water for the cows or they'll die. So I'm interested in having a backup system to make sure that I can run all the things that I need to on the farm. So that would be a 240-volt deep well. Then we have equipment that breaks down more regularly than I'd like. And so we have some welding equipment that uses 240 volts. We have some arc welders, and we have some wire welders. They draw a lot of current. Then we also have equipment like a rotary lift. That's the brand of the lift we have, and we'll put our trucks and other equipment and vehicles up on a lift, and that takes a lot of electrical energy too. So I may not have what I need to put the vehicle up on the lift or do that welding job or run thousands of gallons of water through the well. I may not have enough electricity to do that when I need to. So I have, as a backup, the grid, which is great. And then, Brandon, what about, let's say there are times of the day when the sun is shining really brightly, and I have more power generated than I need. How do I push that back to the grid and get credit for that?
The solar inverter is the brains of the system that is measuring how much energy is coming in. It's looking at battery charging, and it's also able to determine if the loads on the output side are being fully covered and there's excess solar generated, then the inverter knows to start sending excess power back to the grid. And that's an independently controlled function, Vincent. The selling back to the grid is a function that operates independently of the grid zero or of backing up your loads. So if, for example, you're working on getting your net metering agreement in place and you want to run your system in the grid zero mode, we can set that up. And the moment that you get the approval from your utility to start sending power back to the grid, through a simple button press, we can go in there, enable the ability to sell that excess power back and start sending that excess energy back and working that net metering agreement.
Brandon, let me make sure that our whole class understands what you've just said, because I think this is the best of everything. What we're talking about is some of us would like to be off the grid, totally off the grid. And there's equipment that will allow that to happen. Then there are some of us who would like to be, well, maybe off the grid later, but not right at this moment because maybe we don't have the whole battery bank set up. Maybe we don't have the funds to build the system fully to support our energy needs. And then I believe what you're saying is that you can build this system not tie it into the grid, but have the grid be available for you at the push of a button when you're ready and have the paperwork completed. So you can be using the grid, supplementing your energy needs with your array, your solar array, and then later on sell back if you want to. Did I hear that right?
It's amazing. You're absolutely right.
How many of you want to learn how to dig up bugs, worms, and raise crickets for food? Do you prefer to eat them dried and crunchy or while still alive? Well, you won't have to if you can defend your food supply from predators. You may want to get an AR-15 kit from guns80.com and build your own AR-15 rifle from a kit. If you can legally own a rifle, you can purchase this AR-15 kit. If you're handy, you can complete the rifle in about an hour. The kit comes with all the parts you're going to need to build your rifle, but you'll need a drill press. And survivalists need one anyway. The Guns80.com team purchased the same used floor-standing drill press that I have for $100. You can too. And when you're finished, you'll have a paperwork-free AR-15 rifle, a drill press, drill bits, and the knowledge to maintain your AR-15 rifle, all for less than you expect. So if you want a paperwork-free AR-15 parts kit like mine, visit Guns80.com, Guns80.com, and let the unprepared have our share of the bugs.
Concerned about harmful contaminants in your water? Look to ProPure, the most trusted name in gravity water filtration systems. ProPure, with the silver-infused Pro 1 G2.0 filter, removes over 200 contaminants, including VOCs, heavy metals, chloramines, pesticides, pharmaceuticals, fluorides, and radiologicals. We don't just say it, we back it up. The Pro 1 G2.0 filter is NSF 42 certified and independently tested to meet NSF 53 and P231 standards. Pro Pure Water, the way nature meant it to be. Clean, crisp, and refreshing. Purchase with confidence in quality, performance, and customer service. Take advantage of our biggest holiday 25% off sale going on now. Visit your authorized Pro Pure dealer or ProPureUSA.com. That's ProPureUSA.com. Or call 800-544-3533. 800-544-3533.
Ammo is getting scarce in this country, so it just makes sense to reload your casings. Now with RussianReloads.com. That's right, reload previously unreloadable Bird primer cartridges by switching them over to an easy-to-do conversion to accept boxer primers. With RussianReloads.com. High quality and made in the USA. RussianReloads.com. Recycle that casing.
We've had an amazing year here at Supernatural Silver. We've truly enjoyed the fantastic response from thousands of people as they've tried our extraordinary product, and we're thrilled at the life-changing results people have. Our company email is continually full of happy, satisfied customers who thank us for the help they've received from Supernatural Silver. This holiday season, as you think of gifts to give your loved ones, consider giving Supernatural Silver, a gift that can help provide good health and wellness, a gift that can change lives and make a real difference. In a world where we are constantly exposed to dangerous health threats, give yourself and your loved ones a fighting chance. Give Supernatural Silver. Go to supernaturalsilver.com and use the promo code HOLIDAY2015 for 20% off. And this holiday season, we wish you and yours the blessings of peace and good health from all of us here at supernaturalsilver.com.
Are you looking to sell body armor? Want to make extra money selling body armor at your local gun shows? With low minimum buys and great returns, KD Armor is the answer. Make money in your spare time. It's American-made body armor with the quickest turnaround in the industry, which means you get your product when you need it at very competitive rates. And they'll ship it to you for free. If you own a business, give them a call today at 855-488-KD. That's 855-488-2284. Or go to kdarmor.com. Come and take it.
Class, I'm delighted to be on the air with Brandon Williams. This is 102 in the series about alternative energy. And what we're using is the farm, as our farm, as an example of what we've decided to do, how we've decided to do it, and why. So we're going to do one broadcast a month, at least. And this is 102. Brandon Williams is the CEO of IronEdison.com, I-R-O-N, Edison.com. And let me give you the telephone number, 720-432-6433, 720-432-6433, IronEdison.com. So, Brandon, during the break, I had a question of you, and I said, there's not one thing that I can think of that I would like to do with this equipment that it can't do. And here's for example, and please correct me if I don't understand this correctly. But if I want to generate solar power, I can feed the solar power into this Schneider electric equipment, the inverter charger. I can hook up my generator, either an automatic generator or a manual start generator, to this equipment.
Correct.
I can be grid tied if I can't generate enough electricity because it's not sunny enough, or I don't have a big enough solar array, or I can't store enough electricity because the battery bank is not large enough for what I'm trying to do at this point, I can tap into the grid and get that balance instantly if I need it. And I can grow the system by installing more solar panels. I can add a tandem inverter, just like the one I have, and double the capacity or triple the capacity if I want to do that. And I can be grid tied, sell back to the grid if I want to, or I can do almost that and not have any paperwork and be independent but still have the grid as a reserve. I can do all of those things. Is that right?
That's exactly right, and it's incredibly simple to operate. It is straightforward. Once we get the system installed, set up, and programmed, it operates seamlessly. You don't have to push any buttons. You sit back and you watch the system operate, and it happens automatically. It is incredible technology.
Let me tell the class exactly. Well, why don't you tell the class? It's Schneider Electric, also formerly known as Xantrax, right?
That's exactly right. The Schneider Electric XW Plus 6848, which that's the inverter charger, and the 6848 is common a naming practice across all inverters. That means you have a 6800 watt inverter. It's capable of surging up to 12,000 watts, but it does 6800 watts continuous, and it operates on a 48 volt battery.
Okay. At this moment, could I have made a better choice?
No, definitively no. The Schneider inverters are the top of the line. There's a couple other companies out there that are building good equipment, but the interface, the ease of use, and the reliability of the Schneider Electric is unparalleled.
Okay. Let me share with the class some of the homework that I did. I've been wanting to do this for a long time. And so I called manufacturers. I called integrators as yourself, and you're an integrator and a manufacturer. I've called a bunch of them, and I've talked to the technical support departments. And I knew pretty darn close what I wanted to get for our farm. I mean, I zeroed in on the Schneider Electric, and there are reasons why. Because I have Xantrax equipment here. I have, I think, 4 Xantrax battery chargers, which are top of the line. And I bought them. I bought them at a very, very good price, but they're top of the line, and they can charge batteries that other equipment just doesn't know what to do with. Literally, it has a 2 and a 3 stage charge controller in these battery chargers. I'm not talking about the equipment that I bought from you, but I'm talking about other battery chargers I've had over the years that are Xantrax, and they're outstanding. I use them all the time. We have a lot of equipment here and a lot of dead batteries. So I'm talking about tractors and vehicles and so forth. But so I talked to your technical support department. I talked with you. I talked with the Schneider Electric technical support people. And I decided that you guys had the answers. You were willing to be there even when you didn't know what I was trying to do and who I was. And I'll tell you what, that's why Brandon and I are on the air, and that's why I bought equipment from Iron Edison Battery Company. When we get back, let's talk more about mini grid and net metering and the number of meters.
If you or someone you care about loves outdoor adventure, then check out slingbow.com for some unique holiday gift ideas. That's slingbow.com, where we have some innovative new products for the archer, hunter, or bow fishing enthusiast in your family. Now through January, use the promo code HOLIDAY to get free shipping in the US or Canada. And from all of us at Slingbow Industries, have a safe, joyous, and peaceful holiday season. So you've got to take a state construction license exam or certification. Can't decide on what books or what chapters to study? Discover right now how you can eliminate unnecessary books and wasted study time. At contractorexam.com, our study materials zero in on state-required test topics in an effective, multiple-choice format. So whether you're a plumber, electrician, general contractor, or other construction-related trade, contractorexam.com will help get you prepared. Visit us at www.contractorexam.com today.
Hello?
Congratulations.
For what?
For losing all that weight. How'd you do it so fast?
ASAP.
ASAP what? What's that mean?
Are you ready to get as skinny as possible, as soon as possible, as simple as possible, and as sexy as possible?
I'm listening.
Then get with the ASAP program. It's real and it works. No smooth talk, no slick advertising, and no exaggerated claims of success.
I've got to know more.
Welcome to ASAP, as slim as possible. Whether you have 10, 20, or 50 pounds to lose, ASAP is your weight loss answer. ASAP targets the abnormal fat reserves and makes them available to be burned as fuel and contains no caffeine or hormones. Order ASAP at wholesale prices or join the team to share the business with others. Visit gcnteam.com or call 877-878-4203. gcnteam.com or call 877-878-4203. Lose weight and look great with ASAP, as slim as possible.
This is Dan Pilla. Do you owe the IRS money you can't pay? Are tax debts crippling you? I've defended people from the IRS for over 30 years. I've helped thousands, and I can help you too. I wrote the book on IRS settlement, and I'm telling you, There's no such thing as a hopeless case. Call 800-34-NO-TAX to finally get free of IRS debt. With the IRS's new programs, there's never been a better time to solve your problem. Call 800-34-NO-TAX. That's 800-34-NO-TAX or my website, danpilla.com.
The following is an important holiday inventory announcement from IDStronghold.com.
As many of you have come to know, IDStronghold.com is the #1 name in quality RFID blocking wallets that actually do as they say and prevent electronic pickpocketing of the new RFID chips found in credit cards, room keys, subway passes, and more. Last year, due to the extreme popularity of giving ID Stronghold wallets and clutches as unique gifts at Christmas time, we ran out of our most popular styles and colors early. The good news is, we now have our holiday inventory ready for same-day shipping. We have added many more designs of beautiful leather wallets and clutches, all with state-of-the-art built-in electronic pickpocket shielding from the most respected name in RFID protection, IDStronghold.com. Don't wait and limit your choices of these great gifts. We are expecting another sellout season. These wallets aren't available in stores, so visit IDStronghold.com today. That's IDStronghold.com.
Paid non-attorney spokesperson Adam Pulaski of the Pulaski Law Firm with principal office in Houston, Texas is the attorney responsible for the content of this ad. This ad is not legal advice, and the choice of a lawyer should not be based solely upon advertisement. Services may not be available in all states. Attention Xarelto users. If you or a loved one took Xarelto and suffered a serious bleeding event, you may be entitled to financial compensation. Xarelto is a popular prescription blood thinner used to prevent blood clots and protect patients from strokes. These serious bleeding events have led to numerous cases of hospitalization and even death. Phone lines are open 24/7. Call 800-261-0937. That's 800-261-0937.
This is a healthcare alert from the Pain Relief Hotline. If you, a family member, or a loved one suffers from knee, back, shoulder, or ankle pain and have Medicare as your primary insurance, we've got great news. You don't have to suffer any longer. You can immediately qualify for a pain-relieving brace at little or no cost to you by calling our 24/7 Pain Relief Hotline at 866-389-0620. Delivery is free and all paperwork is handled for you. If you are on Medicare and have knee, back, shoulder, or ankle pain, don't wait. You can qualify to immediately receive a pain-relieving brace at little or no cost by calling our 24/7 Pain Hotline now at 866-389-0620. Our representatives are standing by 24/7 to take your call and rush you your pain-relieving brace at little or no cost to you. Shipping is free and all paperwork is handled for you. Just call 866-389-0620. That's 866-389-0620. Again, 866-389-0620.
If you'd like to see a short video with Brandon Williams, there's a link on page 1 of usaprepares.com, usaprepares.com, page 1. And if you click on that link, it'll take you to a 4-minute YouTube video. And Brandon Williams is there. So ironedison.com. Brandon, there are a lot of us who would like to be generating our own power and we want to be independent. I really would rather depend on myself than depend on other people who may or may not be there should I need electricity. So, but the concern, Brandon, is, cutting the cord, that's a big step. It's kind of like quitting your job and becoming an entrepreneur. It's a little intimidating at first. So the grid tie system is a great way to transition, but some people may be concerned that if they buy a grid tie system, and if they buy the wrong one, they'll have to buy different equipment in order to be off grid. Now, with what I purchased, I can do all of that without changing any equipment. Isn't that right?
That's exactly right, Vincent. The main difference there is that your inverter is a battery-based inverter, and the battery is what stores the energy if and when you decide to go off the grid. The battery is there throughout the night to deliver the energy to keep your lights on or keep your clock radio on or keep your computers up and running overnight. A standard grid tie is a much lower price option, but it it can't be used in a battery-based system. So that would be where we have solar panels directly tied to the inverter, directly back to the grid, no battery. If you had that equipment, you're exactly right. You would have to purchase a different battery-based inverter if you ever wanted to go off the grid. So you, in my opinion, made exactly the right choice in starting off with a battery-based inverter that will sell that excess power back, charge the batteries, run your generator, run with the grid, keep your loads on whenever the grid is down. And when you grow your system to the point where you're ready and you're comfortable and you understand how it all works, then at the flip of a circuit breaker, we can take your entire farm off the grid.
Brandon, let's say there are many of us who are listening to this broadcast who have a generator. And what many of us have found out is, wow, these generators consume a lot of fuel. So, for example, if you have a gasoline generator, if it's a small one, you might use a third or a half a gallon per hour, 12 gallons a day. I mean, that's an enormous amount of fuel. It's not sustainable, because who stores that much gasoline? And then if you go to diesel, you can have more efficiency, fewer gallons per hour. You could get a big propane tank and have a propane generator. But the bottom line is, some of our class probably have a generator at their location. Now, will they be able to use whatever generator they have, whether it be a pull start generator or a fully automatic generator or a diesel generator or a propane generator? Can any of these generators be plugged in, whether they be 120 volts or 240, to the kind of system we're designing here today?
That's exactly right. We can use, we love using what people already own. So whether it's a pull start gen, a portable gen, a diesel, if you already have a propane or natural gas generator like a Kohler or a Generac attached to your house, that can be integrated into the system. It's fairly easy to integrate that using maybe you have a transfer switch, or we can use the internal transfer switch in the inverter. Either is a good option. And the benefit of using a battery system in conjunction with a generator, you can cut your fuel consumption up to 80%. And that's not just a number I picked out of thin air. There's been numerous studies by the inverter manufacturers that show this, that overseas diesel generators are used to run cell phone towers. And by using a battery inverter and charger, you can run that generator for just a couple hours a day, charge that battery all the way up, and run for 12 to 20 hours off of battery power until you need another short 2-hour burst of gen runtime.
Mm-hmm. And that saves on a generator wear and tear and so forth. And class, if you have one of these big box store type generators already, you may think that they will have a long, long life expectancy because they're still working for you. The answer is, generally speaking, these small generators will require an oil change every 25 hours. That is once a day. Now, that means that you're going to need some amount of oil, let's say a quart or 2 or 3, depending on the size of your generator. In our case, it's probably 5 quarts. Per day, if you have one of those small generators. If you can get a diesel generator, a used military surplus, the way I did, and I paid about $1,400 for ours. It is the size of a refrigerator on its side, literally. And that is what I'm going to hook in to this Snyder Electric XW6848 Plus inverter charger. That's what I'm going to use. Brandon, mini grid, grid zero, are they synonyms?
They're very similar. The only difference there is that in the mini grid, you are not connected all the time to the grid. So you're actually going to disconnect inside the inverter. It's going to disconnect from the grid, and it's only going to connect to the grid and transfer that grid power when the batteries are low. And in the other scenario, grid zero, the grid is always connected. You're not using it, but this would be a situation where you had a critical load that couldn't even have a millisecond of downtime if your battery was low and you needed that support from the grid. So again, this really just depends on the specific application and the specific loads that you have to determine what mode is going to be best for you. And we have an entire team. We have 8 system designers that work at Iron Edison, and every day we're working with dozens, if not hundreds of clients to help them understand and talk about these different modes of operation, to learn about where everybody is, what are the loads that we're looking to back up, whether we're looking to go all the way off the grid or as you are here, just looking to go in a grid zero or grid backup application. So there's so many questions, there's so much to learn. We can barely cover all these details in these classes. So we love talking about these different types of solar, battery, generator, and grid applications. So we'd love to continue working with you as you set up your system, and I'm really excited as we start to move forward with your system, and we move towards commissioning and testing. And there's so much you're going to learn in the next couple of weeks as we bring your system online.
Now, when you say commissioning, we're not talking about a financial return to me. I just want to make sure that...
Okay. Right. We're talking about testing and powering on. That's the term for turning on the battery, and firing up that inverter, attaching your solar array to the battery, and bringing the power online. We're talking about system commissioning in terms of turning it on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I just want to make sure that our group in class doesn't think that I'm being paid commission. Brandon, I sought you out. I made a lot of calls to a lot of different companies, and I am absolutely, totally comfortable with your responses, what your recommendations are, and I am just delighted with this particular system that I am installing. So, net metering. Let's talk about that, and let me share with you what our company said, our utility company. They said, all right, so here's what we do. We have 2 meters, one for the electricity that the Finellis generate, and one that we provide. And we do a subtraction to figure out if you've generated as much as you've consumed or not. Now, if I generate as much as I've consumed, I only pay the monthly charge for that meter to sit there. I think they call that a service or an availability charge or something like that. So I would pay maybe $10 or $15 a month for the meter to be there. Now, if I generate more than I consume, they zero the account out every month, and I get nothing. I do in my case. I don't get paid for in this particular arrangement. I would not get paid for any excess that I've generated. But I don't think that's going to be the case. I don't think I'm going to be generating more. What I really want to do is ultimately be off the grid. So I'm working my way toward finding out exactly what our needs are by experience, by literally, there's certainly some math that we can do and estimations, but ultimately, for my comfort, I want to make sure that I can generate what we need and still operate the farm, rather than at some point say, you know what, I cut the cord, I've gone completely off grid, and I can't do it because I don't have enough capacity. So that's net metering in our case is I can generate up to what I would consume from the utility company without paying any more than just the meter charge. But if I use less, if I use more, I pay for the overage. Is that what net metering is across the country?
For the most part, that's exactly right. Every utility has their own set of rules. Some utilities would allow you to carry over that excess generation through the end of the year. So you could take your excess production in the summer when you have longer sun hours to generate more electricity. They would allow you to carry those kilowatt hours of excess production over to the winter months. But in your situation, you're not able to carry forward month to month. And then There are some other utilities that would pay you a little bit for that excess power that you generate, maybe just a couple of cents where you're buying at 15 or 20 cents. But every utility is unique, and we really have to figure out what's just right for you.
Right, and different areas have different costs per kilowatt. Here in Missouri, we're at about 10 cents for 1,000 watts per an hour of electricity. We'll be right back. By now, you know that USAPrepares.com is your source for water filtration systems. Here at the farm, we use our water filtration system for drinking, cooking, and for our cats and dogs. Which brand are we using? Well, that would be the ProPure system, because it filters out pathogens, microbes, chlorine, and fluoride. Multiple sources indicate that fluoride is responsible for lowering our IQs by 5%. Now, how many of you would like to sign up for a lower IQ? USAPrepares.com offers ProPure water filtration systems and accessories at the same price as everyone else, except we offer an instant rebate. We buy them by the pallet loads and pass the savings on to you. And if you're outside of Missouri, there's no sales tax. And if this appeals to you, visit USAPrepares.com. That's USAPrepares.com. You can order online, and we have the ProPure water filtration systems in stock, ready to ship. USAPrepares.com. ProPure water filtration systems at the same price as everyone else, except we offer an instant rebate.
My name is Bill Bonner, and I have an important message. Right now, the highest levels of government are struggling against an inevitable crisis, but they're about to lose control. When this happens, it will rip our country apart in ways you never imagined. From where we shop to the family you want to protect. Look, I've made predictions like this before. A few years ago, I warned that the housing prices would collapse. Before that, I warned that .com companies would crash, and they did. Those who listened had a chance to save themselves. But this has nothing to do with the stock market. This will affect us all. I've posted a free video at $downfall.com. Maybe you'll disagree with my conclusions, but first you need to watch this video and see the facts for yourself. You can watch the video for free right now by going to $downfall.com. Again, that's $downfall.com.
We all know that Berkey water purification systems are the most trusted name in water filtration. As an authorized Berkey dealer for over 6 years and serving thousands of satisfied customers, the Berkey Guy offers amazing specials for Berkey water filtration systems. The Berkey Light systems include a set of self-sterilizing and recleanable black purification elements that purify water by removing chlorine, pathogenic bacteria, cysts, and parasites to non-detectable levels and remove harmful chemicals such as herbicides and pesticides. Order the Berkey Light system today, complete with 2 black Berkey elements for only $231, and the Berkey Guy will ship your order free of charge. With the purchase of a Berkey Light, the Berkey Guy is also offering a set of fluoride and arsenic filters for only $39.99. That's over 30% off the retail price. Call the Berkey Guy at 1-877-886-3653. That's 1-877-886-3653. Or order online at goberkey.com. That's goberkey.com today.
Attention USA Prepares listeners. When you're on the road or have limited data or Wi-Fi, now you can listen to USA Prepares Unfiltered and Untapped at no extra charge on this non-federal phone number, 1-605-477-3249. Try it now to listen to USA Prepares 24/7 at no extra cost or data charges. These are not on federal lines. These are lines located on Indian reservations off the grid. Call 1-605-477-3249. No smartphones or internet needed. To hear USA Prepares Untapped and Off the Grid, just call 1-605-477-3249.
Thousands of people seeking home security get ripped off every day, and the home security industry wants you to believe that's your only option. They've got hordes of salesmen out there trying to scare you into signing one of their long-term contracts. You get stuck writing huge checks month after month with no way out. It's robbery by contract, and it can cost you thousands. But there's a better way to protect your home. Simply Safe Home Security. Simply Safe has no contracts. None. You'll get award-winning 24/7 protection. Security professionals watching over your home, ready to instantly send police to the rescue for just $14.99 per month. That's less than half what most companies charge. Protect your home the smart way. Visit simplysafedefense.com today for an exclusive 10% offer and get a free keychain remote worth $25. Only when you go to simplysafedefense.com. simplysafedefense.com.
Owe $10,000 or more to the IRS?
Get on board with the Tax Admiral. Don't pick on the IRS alone. I'll cut penalties and reduce your overall tax bill. Sometimes I can even get it zeroed out completely.
We're an A-rated company helping people clean up their mess with the IRS.
If you owe $10,000 or more, then call the Tax Admiral.
Call 800-287-7180. Again, that's 800-287-7180. 800-287-7180.
We're talking about alternative energy and the system that I'm installing here at the farm. And as you know, class, I'm a do-it-yourselfer, and I've talked with Brandon Williams about, can you do it yourself? And the answer is many of you can. If you need help, there is help available at the end of a phone call. And if you need help locally, there are installers who can help you. But wouldn't it be great if you can design the system on the phone with the technicians and the designers, the systems designers at Iron Edison? So if you want to try that, 720-432-6433. 720-432-6433. Brandon, when someone calls Iron Edison, it would be really nice if they had specific information ready for that call. What would you like them to be prepared with?
Thanks, sir. Thanks for asking. Yeah, it would be a lot easier. We can have a really efficient time on the phone if we have some idea of how much electricity that you're using at your house. You can find that by looking at your electric bill or just having that electric bill handy when you give us a call. We can take a quick look at that over the past couple of months and really help to size a system that's right for you. Take a quick... go ahead.
Well, our electric bills show trends. They show a graph of trends of electric consumption. They show the same period last year, showing whether it's a trend up or a trend down from, that monthly billing period from last year. So there's a lot of information because summer months are a little different from winter months. You may have, depending on the heating system that you have, and you may need to make some changes. So, for example, when we built our house, we used we did not put in an electric stove. We put in a gas stove so that we would not have to power an electric stove with an alternative energy system because it's very, very expensive to do that. It's really inexpensive I'm avoiding using a lot of watts by having a propane stove, right?
Yes, that's absolutely right. It's a lot more efficient to cook and heat with electric. So it's a good idea when you call to know what kind of cooktop you have, what kind of heater, whether it's baseboard, forced air, gas, or electric. And just like you mentioned, it can be a lot more efficient economically in the long term to install a new gas cooktop rather than getting a huge solar and battery system to support an electric cooktop, for example.
Mm-hmm. And the same is true for hot water heating and clothes drying, isn't it?
That's exactly right. And that's why it takes a big investment to go off the grid, because you would have to have the battery, the propane, all the stored energy to support your cooking, your heating, and all of your electrical loads at the house. And that's why these sorts of hybrid systems using mini grid and grid zero are a great fit for most residential households, because you don't necessarily have to make an entire investment in converting every appliance in your house up front. Those steps can be taken over time. You can do them one at a time and really take your time and grow the system as you need.
Brandon, I've talked with people who have bought gold and silver over the years, and you may wonder why I'm even mentioning this. And before they do, they say, geez, I'm trading this pile of Federal Reserve notes for gold or silver, and it's kind of a frightening thing. And then when you ask them later on how they feel about it, a month later, they go, wow, what a great, I feel so good because I've done it, and it was a little scary at first. Now, is that the same thing that happens with solar? And the question really is this. Those who have done what you've recommended, are they glad they did it, or are they thinking, I shouldn't have done it?
Everybody that we've worked with is really happy about making this decision.
Mm-hmm. And I am too. I really am. And it's kind of like being set free. It's kind of like getting control of your own destiny. It is being responsible for your actions and knowing that if the grid goes down, you're probably a lot better off than with this equipment than without it. But
energy independence.
There you go. Brendan Williams, ironedison.com, ironedison.com. Link on page 1, usaprepares.com. Brendan, thank you so much.
Thank you.
How many of you want to learn how to dig up bugs, worms, and raise crickets for food? Do you prefer to eat them dried and crunchy or while still alive? Well, you won't have to if you can defend your food supply from predators. You may want to get an AR-15 kit from guns80.com and build your own AR-15 rifle from a kit. If you can legally own a rifle, you can purchase this AR-15 kit. If you're handy, you can complete the rifle in about an hour. The kit comes with all the parts you're going to need to build your rifle, but you'll need a drill press. And survivalists need one anyway. The Guns80.com team purchased the same used floor-standing drill press that I have for $100. You can too. And when you're finished, you'll have a paperwork-free AR-15 rifle, a drill press, drill bits, and the knowledge to maintain your AR-15 rifle, all for less than you expect. So if you want a paperwork-free AR-15 parts kit like mine, visit guns80.com, guns80.com, and let the unprepared have our share of the bugs.
Don't complain about your cable bill going up and up and up. Do something about it. Grab a pencil and jot down this special number, 1-855-905-MY-TV. The more cable TV rates go up, the better digital satellite TV looks. Say goodbye to the cable guy and get more of your favorite channels in 100% digital quality for less money. Call 1-855-905-MY-TV. Sign up for packages starting as low as $19.99, and there's no equipment to buy. You get free HD TV upgrade, a free DVR upgrade, and free professional installation. You control what you watch when you watch it. Record your favorite shows. Pause and rewind live TV. Even skip the commercials. Watch local channels too. At just $19.99, what are you waiting for? Pull out your major credit or debit card. Call 1-855-905-MY-TV. 1-855-905-MY-TV. Say goodbye to the cable guy. Cut costs and get more. 1-855-905-MY-TV. 1-855-905-MY-TV.
Owe $10,000 or more to the IRS? Get on board with the Tax Admiral. Don't pick on the IRS alone. I'll cut penalties and reduce your overall tax bill. Sometimes I can even get it zeroed out completely. We're an A-rated company helping people clean up their mess with the IRS. If you owe $10,000 or more, then call the Tax Admiral.
Call 800-287-7180. Again, that's 800-287-7180. 800-287-7180.
Paid non-attorney spokesperson Adam Pulaski of the Pulaski Law Firm with principal office in Houston, Texas is the attorney responsible for the content of this ad. This ad is not legal advice, and the choice of a lawyer should not be based solely upon advertisement. Services may not be available in all states. Attention Xarelto users. If you or a loved one took Xarelto and suffered a serious bleeding event, you may be entitled to financial compensation. Xarelto is a popular prescription blood thinner used to prevent blood clots and protect patients from strokes. These serious bleeding events have led to numerous cases of hospitalization and even death. Phone lines are open 24/7. Call 800-261-0937. That's 800-261-0937.
Everyone all set? Cocked, locked? Hour number 2 of usaprepares.com. With us for this hour is Harry Cooper, sharkhunters.com, sharkhunters.com. And we're going to be talking about several things. Ava Brown, we're going to be talking about the escape of Adolf Hitler to Argentina. Welcome, Harry Cooper.
Good afternoon. Well, I guess it's still good morning where you're at.
It is. Harry, I just want to let the class know I've met Harry. He's been at the Get Prepared Expo. He came up from headquarters in Florida to Missouri this year, and it was great to to see Harry again. I've seen him at several events and military extravaganzas and so forth, and he's been there, and I met him over the years, and it was great to see him again here in Missouri. So, Harry, I have a copy of a book in my hands that you've autographed, Hitler in Argentina, the documented truth of Hitler's escape from Berlin. And now the question that some may be asking is, why would we be talking about this in a preparedness broadcast classroom? And my answer to this is very simple. If you believe the mainstream media, I'm not talking about Harry Cooper, but I'm talking about if a person believes the mainstream media for all of their information, you are going to be duped. You are going to be lied to. And you won't be able to prepare if you believe the things they're saying. For example, we've learned from the mainstream media that the economy is doing really well. Jobs are plentiful. Inflation is low. Not where I live. None of that's true where I live. And so I remember learning in elementary school that Adolf Hitler and his wife of a very, very short time, measured in hours, committed suicide at the end of, or in the last hours of World War II. And there are images on the internet of their burned bodies. And I remember as early as elementary school thinking, really? So a man who has been able to amass so many people to go in one direction for the benefit of Germany, would he really kill himself? Why would he do that? And why would his wife kill herself? It didn't make any sense to me. So my question to Harry Cooper is, Harry, did Adolf Hitler and his wife, Eva Braun Hitler, commit suicide in the last hours of World War II?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. That's what we were told in school. I'm older than you are, and I remember, as a matter of fact, I was born the day after the German troops marched into Poland. So I remember the end of the war, and everybody was all excited. Hitler had shot himself, and Eva Braun had taken poison, and the propaganda was all full tilt. And it's still going about what an evil guy he was and how he committed suicide, and Eva Braun committed suicide. Is absolutely not true. It's absolute propaganda. I go to Germany 2 or 3 times a year, every year since 1988, talking to a lot of the people. I've been to Argentina 4 times. I'm going again this February to Argentina, Uruguay, Paraguay, and Brazil to talk to more people, to see more places where the Third Reich was moved, basically. It wasn't only Hitler and Eva Braun, it was also Martin Bormann, and thousands of people from the Reich went down there. It's very long and complicated, and you don't have time on your 1-hour show for the whole 33 years worth of research, but the Third Reich did not perish on the 8th of May, 1945, when Jodl and Keitel surrendered. The majority of it moved down to South America. Some did get caught, of course, like Goering and Dönitz and Raeder, et cetera, all the guys who were appearing at the Nuremberg tribunals. But thousands of others got to Argentina, and from there, some spread out. Most stayed in Argentina because Perón was pretty well bought for by the billions of dollars worth of stuff that Martin Bormann brought down there. So it would have, people say, why didn't they go after him? And as we're finding out now, there are some outfits that are all excited now, wetting their pants that the FBI files have just been declassified last year. Well, we've had those files for 6 years. One of our guys, a I won't go into great detail, but one of our guys got those FBI files for us about 6 years ago. I was in Argentina. I met people who knew Hitler down there. I was in the estate where he lived, which is deserted or abandoned or whatever the word you want to use. Nobody lives there. It's owned by someone, but and so I was there, took pictures. They're all on the website, sharkhunters.com, and just click on previous tours, and you'll see all the places we've been in Argentina. The eyewitness accounts, turns out, were not eyewitnesses at all. And, well, as I say, it's all explained in the book, Hitler in Argentina. And and the people can listen to or look at it, I'm sorry. There are also reviews on another site we have set up called www.hitlerinargentina.com. No spaces in that word. Hitler in Argentina is all one great big long word. So, to answer your question, they did not commit suicide. They did live out their lives in Argentina. Hitler died in about 1963. Martin Bormann died, we think, 1959. And Eva Braun was still alive in 2002, which really is no big deal. She was born 1912. That made her 90 years old in 2002. My grandparents hit their 90s. Lots of people go to their 90s and beyond, so that's not unusual.
Harry, I'm at the site right now, hitlerinargentina.com, and there is an image of Hitler's hidden estate in Patagonia.
Yep, I took that picture.
It's quite nice. I mean, it's very comfortable looking.
Yeah, there's a story behind that also. That place was built in the closing moments of World War II. Now remember, by late 1943, early 1944, everyone, including Helen Keller, could see the handwriting on the wall. Germany was going to lose, and all their bravado about we're going to fight to the last man meant we're going to fight to the last sergeant while the rest of us get out of town. And so that place was built in the closing moments of World War II, built by money from Mercedes of Argentina, allegedly as a holiday place for the executives, I guess, to go fishing or skiing, because it's a fantastic place. I've been there twice. It's a beautiful town, huge, big, wonderful lake. Incidentally, the German scientists built a nuclear research laboratory on an island in that lake a couple of years after the war ended, but that's another whole story. So nobody from Mercedes ever went to the place. It sat empty until Hitler and Eva Braun got there in late 45, early 46, which was summertime down there. And they stayed there for 10 to 15 years until the place was discovered as a tourist area. And so they left to continue their anonymity. And to the best of our research, from the time they moved out, nobody else has ever lived there. So the place has only had the one occupant, or one pair of occupants, Hitler and Eva. And the place is still for sale. It's been for sale for as long as I've been going down there. 40 million Yankee dollars was the asking price. I don't know what it is now. Beautiful place, several outbuildings, several guest cottages, huge chunk of land on a lake. The only way you could get to it was by water. And during the time after the war, when Hitler and Eva Braun lived there, and the town Bariloche had a whole lot of people from the SS, and they had armed security all around the lake, both on the land, and they had boats on the water, regular speedboats, only with armed soldiers. The only way you could get there was by water, and if you came from one direction, you had to pass a medieval-looking tower that had maybe a couple of soldiers, and their only job was to keep track of who was coming and going and to alert the estate that somebody was on the way. Or if somebody was coming from a different direction, they had to pass a bunker, not a combat bunker, but just more or less a barracks facility. And again, they would be reported to the estate. And there are photos of those on the website, and they're still there. And as I say, I'm going back down there in February to several countries. So the place is still there. If you've got a ton of money and don't know what to do with it, you can go buy that place for 40 million Yankee dollars.
Wouldn't that be something to own that property?
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
I wish I had that kind of money. It'd be a great place for spending the northern hemisphere winters down there, because that's summer down there. And every time I go there, I get a sunburn. I go there in January. I come home with a
Harry,
sunburn.
hold that thought. We'll be right back. By now, you know that USAPrepares.com is your source for water filtration systems. Here at the farm, we use our water filtration system for drinking, cooking, and for our cats and dogs. Which brand are we using? Well, that would be the ProPure system, because it filters out pathogens, microbes, chlorine, and fluoride. Multiple sources indicate that fluoride is responsible for lowering our IQs by 5%. Now, how many of you would like to sign up for a lower IQ? USAPrepares.com offers ProPure water filtration systems and accessories at the same price as everyone else, except we offer an instant rebate. We buy them by the pallet loads and pass the savings on to you. And if you're outside of Missouri, there's no sales tax. And if this appeals to you, visit USAPrepares.com. That's USAPrepares.com. You can order online, and we have the ProPure water filtration systems in stock, ready to ship. USAPrepares.com. ProPure water filtration systems at the same price as everyone else, except we offer an instant rebate.
Did you know that home break-ins increase more than 100% during the holidays? It takes just 10 seconds for an intruder to kick in your door, but police response to a home alarm system is more than 20 minutes, and intruders are in and out of your home in 5 minutes. Thieves know that you're not home and have presents inside just waiting to be taken. And if you are home, how safe will you feel with an intruder lurking inside with your family? That's why police across the country are recommending you use Door Armor. Proven to withstand the force of a battering ram, Door Armor keeps intruders out. It's easy to install and barely visible, and your Door Armor is guaranteed for life. Go to InvasionStopper.com for a very special buy one, get one at half off deal. These savings are for a limited time and only available to GCN listeners. Protect your valuables and loved ones this holiday season. Go to InvasionStopper.com now. That's InvasionStopper.com.
Attention USA Prepares listeners. When you're on the road or have limited data or Wi-Fi, now you can listen to USA Prepares unfiltered and untapped at no extra charge on this non-federal phone number, 1-605-477-3249. Try it now to listen to USA Prepares 24/7 at no extra cost or data charges. These are not on federal lines. These are lines located on Indian reservations off the grid. Call 1-605-477-3249. No smartphones or internet needed. To hear USA Prepares untapped and off the grid, just call 1-605-477-3249.
My name is Bill Bonner, and I have an important message. Right now, the highest levels of government are struggling against an inevitable crisis, but they're about to lose control. When this happens, it will rip our country apart in ways you never imagined, from where we shop to the family you want to protect. Look, I've made predictions like this before. A few years ago, I warned that the housing prices would collapse. Before that, I warned that .com companies would crash, and they did. Those who listened had a chance to save themselves. But this has nothing to do with the stock market. This will affect us all. I've posted a free video at $downfall.com. Maybe you'll disagree with my conclusions, but first you need to watch this video and see the facts for yourself. You can watch the video for free right now by going to $downfall.com. Again, that's $downfall.com.
Are you looking to sell body armor? Want to make extra money selling body armor at your local gun shows? With low minimum buys and great returns, Katie Armor is the answer. Make money in your spare time. It's American-made body armor with the quickest turnaround in the industry, which means you get your product when you need it at very competitive rates. And they'll ship it to you for free. If you own a business, give them a call today at 855-488-KATIE. That's 855-488-2284. Or go to katiearmor.com. Come and take it.
Class, Harry Cooper's with us, and we're talking about Adolf Hitler in the final hours of World War II, that he did not commit suicide, and neither did his wife, and they escaped to Argentina with the assistance of funding from Mercedes of Argentina. And if you go to the same website where I am, Hitler in Argentina, you'll be able to see the image of his estate in Patagonia. And you'll see a picture of a secret German nuclear laboratory. And you'll see an image of a building that says a German hotel with plastic surgery clinic into the 1960s. Now that all makes sense to me. The clinic for plastic surgery. So do you think, Harry, that maybe Martin Bormann and Adolf Hitler and maybe Eva Braun Hitler had plastic surgery?
I don't know about Eva Braun, but or Bormann, but it would stand to reason that probably most likely Hitler did, but thousands of others did who were on the watch list, the want list. The hotel you're speaking of there is the Hotel Vienna, spelled with only one N, and it was by a little tiny town called Miramar, about 400 miles to the northwest of Buenos Aires, which even today is kind of out in the boonies, but back in the 40s, 50s, etc., it could have been on the dark side of the moon. And that hotel, it was a luxury hotel resort. It only had Germans in it. It was built in 45, the closing moments of the war, and it had air conditioning and it had elevators in 1945. It also had the plastic surgery clinic, and if you look at the picture, there was a lookout tower, I think it was 60 meters high or something like that. So why would you need a lookout tower for a resort? And this was right on the shore of a salt lake in northern Argentina. And for some reason, let me back up a bit. A friend of mine, a guy who his parents were very, very high up in the Third Reich hierarchy. And he moved down there with his mother when his mother moved down there with him at the close of the war. He was just a couple years old when the war ended. He was in that hotel in the early 60s, and he said it was going full tilt, full of German people. The plastic surgery clinic was going every day. So obviously there was a reason for it. And then some years after that, God knows why, the lake just suddenly rose and rose and rose and just went all the way up to the ceiling of the first floor in this hotel, which of course destroyed it. And then the lake receded, and I was there a few years ago. It's all locked up and surrounded by a fence. But fortunately, the same situation as when I went to Hitler's estate. I knew how to penetrate security, let's put it that way. And I let myself into the hotel and took a lot of photos. Whenever we go into places like this, we never touch anything, we never take anything except photographs, and I took some video too. But the photographs are on our regular home site, sharkhunters.com, and go to previous tours, and all the paintings hanging on the wall and the big photographs were all German cities, German monuments. And as I said, this friend of mine was there in the early 60s, and he said it was going full tilt. There was all Germans there. Also, when he was a little younger, and after they had escaped, he and his mother had escaped from Germany, and they had a coffee plantation in Bolivia. And he was about 20, 21 years old, and he was riding his horse, and the horse pitched him, or he fell off, or whatever, broke his arm, knocked him out, and when he came to back at the house, the doctor was setting his arm, and that was Dr. Joseph Mengele was setting his arm. A heck of a story there.
Absolutely. And we come back. A question I'd like to ask you is about Theodor Morell, Dr. Morell, Adolf Hitler's personal physician. And my understanding, he was poisoning Adolf Hitler, and Adolf Hitler had Parkinson's-like symptoms. How well did he survive that in Argentina?
So you've got to take a state construction license exam or certification. Can't decide on what books or what chapters to study? Discover right now how you can eliminate unnecessary books and wasted study time. At contractorexam.com, our study materials zero in on state-required test topics in an effective, multiple-choice format. So whether you're a plumber, electrician, general contractor, or other construction-related trade, contractorexam.com will help get you prepared. Visit us at www.contractorexam.com today.
Hey, Berkey Guy here. Are you still drinking unfiltered tap water? Does your water contain chlorine or fluoride? Will you have drinkable water in an emergency? The Berkey Guy is here to help you remove these and other potential contaminants from your water, thus helping you drink clean, purified water. We offer Berkey water purification systems at the lowest available prices online. Don't go another moment without Berkey system. Over the last 10 years, we've helped thousands drink clean, purified water. Join them by visiting goberkey.com or call me, the Berkey Guy, at 877-886-3653. That's 877-886-3653.
My name is Bill Bonner, and I have an important message. Right now, the highest levels of government are struggling against an inevitable crisis, but they're about to lose control. When this happens, it will rip our country apart in ways you never imagined, from where we shop to the family you want to protect. Look, I've made predictions like this before. A few years ago, I warned that the housing prices would collapse. Before that, I warned that .com companies would crash, and they did. Those who listened had a chance to save themselves. But this has nothing to do with the stock market. This will affect us all. I've posted a free video at $downfall.com. Maybe you'll disagree with my conclusions, but first you need to watch this video and see the facts for yourself. You can watch the video for free right now by going to $downfall.com. Again, that's $downfall.com.
Ammo is getting scarce in this country, so it just makes sense to reload your casings. Now with RussianReloads.com. That's right, reload previously unreloadable bird and primer cartridges by switching them over to an easy-to-do conversion to accept boxer primers with RussianReloads.com. High quality and made in the USA. RussianReloads.com. Recycle that casing.
Are you tired of commuting to a job that makes someone else rich? Working harder than ever, but getting nowhere? Do you hate spending hundreds of dollars every week on daycare? Having someone else raise your children? With our opportunities, you can start earning money as soon as next week. You get to be the boss, work from home, and live a happier life. At Be the Boss Network, you'll find hundreds of work-from-home opportunities that you can literally start today and be earning money as soon as next week. Go to freedom106.com and start earning money as soon as next week. You get to be the boss. Get out of the rat race. Work from home. Go to freedom106.com right now and change your life today. That's freedom106.com. Go to freedom106.com and start earning money as soon as next week. You be the boss. Go to freedom106.com.
Ammo is getting scarce in this country, so it just makes sense to reload your casings. Now with RussianReloads.com. That's right, reload previously unreloadable bird and primer cartridges by switching them over to an easy-to-do conversion to accept boxer primers with RussianReloads.com. High quality and made in the USA. RussianReloads.com. Recycle that casing.
Are you still looking for that one iodine that you can really trust? A medical doctor endorsed product that is backed by honest research and true integrative science? Then search no further. Go to NutriMedical.com for Dr. Bill Deagle's Nutriodine, proven time and time again to be the very best iodine available for you. Nutriodine is the only Tesla-activated monatomic plasma iodine in the world. It optimizes mitochondrial function and generation of new mitochondria, from totally neutralizing the venom from a desert recluse spider bite in Southern California to eliminating malaria parasites reported by medical missionaries in central India. Dr. Bill's Nutriodine is simply the most powerful healing formula there is. Nutriodine clears the body of all known pathogens, restores it to an alkaline state, and even promotes stem cell regeneration. Order Dr. Bill's Nutriodine today at 888-212-8871 or visit us online at NutriMedical.com.
Okay, Harry Cooper's with us. And Harry, I was thinking about Adolf Hitler's personal physician, Theodore Morell. And my understanding, and I don't know if this is true, I'd love to hear your thoughts on it, that he was giving Adolf Hitler injections of arsenic, he was giving him opium, and he was slowly poisoning Adolf Hitler secretly. And the images that I've seen of Adolf Hitler toward the end of the war, he aged very quickly, and there was an image of a man that looked like Adolf Hitler, and maybe that was a double, where he was kind of shaking with Parkinson's-like symptoms. How would you address that?
Yeah, we've heard those stories too, and he did look pretty rocky toward the end, but it depends on the date you're talking about, because the last week or two or three, whatever, it was not Adolf Hitler, it was a guy named Joseph Silip, S-I-L-I-P, who was a distant relative of Hitler. We've traced his family back to where it joins Hitler's family in the year 1694 or 97, something like that. He looked like Hitler, he talked like Hitler, he had the same unique Austrian dialect from that section of Austria where Hitler came. And so the SS found him, brought him back to Berlin in the early part of 1944, I believe it was, and he was trained how to act like Hitler, etc. So that famous picture of Hitler patting the young boy on the cheek, the Hitler Youth, that was not Hitler, that was Silip. And from 23 April 1945 onward, there were no orders signed by Hitler. They were all signed by Martin Bormann from that time forward, which would indicate that Hitler was already long gone. And our member, we've got 8,000 members in Shark Hunters now that get our monthly magazine. Information on that is at sharkhunters.com also, or they can just email me at sharkhunters@earthlink.net. Anyhow, this member, Don Angel Alcazar de Velasco, he was a Spaniard working for the Third Reich during the war, and he was stationed in the Fuhrer the last few months of the war as part of his duty, and every day he had to make a report to Hitler. So he knew the guy. And he saw Hitler and Eva Braun forcibly drugged under orders of Martin Bormann and removed from the Fuhrer bunker because Bormann wanted to keep the Reich alive. He needed a figurehead. Then after they got down to South America, Bormann pretty well took over and realized he was better off making money in running huge corporations, etc., than to have the werewolves pop up again and start World War II all over. And so Hitler was just pretty well shuffled off into the background. When Don Angel went down to meet with Hitler in 1952, he described it, and he said the guy, his left hand was almost useless. It was shaking, almost useless. had problems drooling a little bit, and his left eye didn't seem like it was working very well. All that description's in the book, Hitler in Argentina. And so he was only with Hitler for maybe half an hour. He had flown down. Now, when he told me about it, he said he went down to Antarctica. I don't buy that. Don Angel was a professional spook, and spooks lie. That's part of their job. They call it disinformation or misinformation. So the way he described the facility where he landed in the dead of winter with a ski-equipped plane, a Ju-52, he described the facility down there, and the description exactly matches the place where Hitler lived in Bariloche, which is in Patagonia. So I'm pretty sure he was in Patagonia in that facility and definitely not in Antarctica. We hear all sorts of stories about Antarctica, but lots of smoke, but no fire yet. So, but anyhow, he described Hitler, and Hitler was in pretty bumpy shape. And then in '58, Don Angel went to meet with Martin Bormann at a farm in Bolivia. And I'm in contact with Don Angel's two sons, and I'm trying to get the description and the location of this farm from them so that I can visit that when I'm in Argentina, well, in South America in February. So it's a gigantic onion, and every time you peel off one layer, there's more to go.
You know, we talked about doubles. What about Joseph Goebbels? You know, did he commit suicide? With his wife, and were their bodies of the children burned? What happened there? Do you have information on that as well?
You must have been looking over my shoulder for the last week or two. There's a story about to break with that, and it's not my story, so I can't get into it too much. But just because you see pictures of dead people doesn't mean those are the same dead people they're supposed to be. We saw pictures of Hitler and Eva Braun dead in the Chancellery Garden, and we know that was not Hitler and Eva Braun. And we've seen pictures of Magda Goebbels and the children all laid out dead. Mm-hmm. And like I say, it's not my story, but there's a story about to break with that.
Okay,
and,
we don't need to break it here. But my question is, Joseph Goebbels was brilliant. I mean, he was a brilliant propagandist. He was. Yeah. I mean, I think I think a lot of lessons have been learned and implemented by marketeers all over the world as a result of what he learned and what he demonstrated. Well, I can't imagine him killing himself and his wife and killing their children as well.
I think that's a well-founded premise on your part. Okay. Incidentally, he was not the only brilliant propagandist there. Lene Riefenstahl also, who was an actress, and then she produced Triumph of the Will, which is probably the greatest propaganda movie ever produced. She was a member of Shark Hunters up until she died. But Goebbels and the family, I wouldn't make book that they committed suicide. And Martin Bormann, much as they want us to believe that Martin Bormann died on a tank by the main train station in May of '45, it just didn't happen that way. Oh, yes, they found his skeleton, sure. They were digging for a new train station or renovations or something, and some of the workmen were told, no, don't dig by where the construction is here. We need you to dig over here in this area. And they dug, and they found a skeleton. And they decided to check the DNA to see if it was Martin Bormann. Now, I ask you, Berlin has tens of thousands of skeletons still buried because the devastation was so horrible. Why would you, if you found a skeleton, why would you just decide to test the DNA to see if it was Martin Bormann? Was he holding a little sign that says, "Hi, I'm Marty"? No, and they still can't explain how there were traces of red clay in the skull that's only native to a certain section of Patagonia, because he died in Patagonia in the late 50s. And the powers that be, the people who control our press, thought it would be detrimental to their cause if Bormann's body was to be found down in Paraguay, so they hauled it back to Berlin, and then, they discovered it. Something like, seeding a gold mine, planting little specks of gold in a dead mine.
Mm-hmm.
So, except for the guys we saw in the Nuremberg tribunals, can't really say that the dead people there really were dead there, because in most cases they were not. Scientists, technicians, engineers, Professor Kurt Tank, the guy that designed the Focke-Wulf FW-190 called the Butcher Bird because it was such a good fighter plane, he and a whole mob of scientists, technicians, and engineers went down to Argentina. They built some of the most modern fighter planes any of the South American forces had. They built the Pulque jet fighter. Pulque means arrow. And if you remember the Falkland Islands War, lots of Pulque fighters were attacking the British. And the only part of the Argentine military that was really exceptional was their Air Force. And that's because some of the top flyboys from the Luftwaffe went down there after the war. Hans Ulrich Rudel, probably the greatest pilot ever, and Adolf Galland, who was a member of Shark Hunters, he went down there, and a guy named Werner Baumbach, who was head of Kampfgeschwader 200, which was Bomber Squadron 200, they went down there, and they rebuilt the entire Argentine Air Force to where they were really a tough Air Force. And Kampfgeschwader 200 was a bomber squadron, but it also had all the secret stuff in it. It had the jet fighters, the jet bombers, the rocket fighters, lots of other stuff. And unfortunately for Baumbach, he was training a couple of Argentine pilots on a British Lancaster down there some years after the war. Then they crashed into the Rio de la Plata, and he couldn't get out, and he drowned. But the rest of them lived out their lives. So they got down there. I don't speak Spanish, but I can get along fine with my German in some of those little villages.
Harry Cooper's with us. His website, sharkhunters.com. You can buy the book, get it autographed, and it's 25 plus shipping. We'll be right back, and I'd like to ask about the FW-390. How many of you want to learn how to dig up bugs, worms, and raise crickets for food? Do you prefer to eat them dried and crunchy or while still alive? Well, you won't have to if you can defend your food supply from predators. You may want to get an AR-15 kit from guns80.com and build your own AR-15 rifle from a kit. If you can legally own a rifle, you can purchase this AR-15 kit. If you're handy, you can complete the rifle in about an hour. The kit comes with all the parts you're going to need to build your rifle, but you'll need a drill press. And survivalists need one anyway. The Guns80.com team purchased the same used floor-standing drill press that I have for $100. You can too. And when you're finished, you'll have a paperwork-free AR-15 rifle, a drill press, drill bits, and the knowledge to maintain your AR-15 rifle, all for less than you expect. So if you want a paperwork-free AR-15 parts kit like mine, visit Guns80.com, Guns80.com, and let the unprepared have our share of the bugs.
My name is Bill Bonner, and I have an important message. Right now, the highest levels of government are struggling against an inevitable crisis, but they're about to lose control. When this happens, it will rip our country apart in ways you never imagined, from where we shop to the family you want to protect. Look, I've made predictions like this before. A few years ago, I warned that the housing prices would collapse. Before that, I warned that .com companies would crash, and they did. Those who listened had a chance to save themselves. But this has nothing to do with the stock market. This will affect us all. I've posted a free video at dollardownfall.com. preparedness.com. Maybe you'll disagree with my conclusions, but first you need to watch this video and see the facts for yourself. You can watch the video for free right now by going to $downfall.com. Again, that's $downfall.com.
Hi, this is Dr. Joel Wallach, the Mineral Doctor. You've heard me talk about 90 for Life for years. 60 minerals, 16 vitamins, 12 amino acids, 2 fatty acids. You may not know this, that I've actually designed Arthrodex for animals. That's right. Your pets need 90 for Life too. Get this essential pet product by calling 877-279-9422. That's 877-279-9422. Again, 877-279-9422.
You haven't experienced yogurt until you've tried a Mossy, embodying health and flavor in a true whole milk, green-fed dairy beverage. Every sip pays homage to our old world cows and the ancient culturing methods their milk benefits from. With over 30 probiotics, a Mossy's undeniably nutritious, refined, cultured sensation bolsters your health and awakens your passion for dairy. A Mossy's so good, and you need to try it. Contact your Youngevity distributor or call 877-878-4203 or go to gcnteam.com.
By now you know that wireless technology like cell phones do in fact pose dangers to the health and privacy of everyone. Block-It Pocket's wide range of products are unmatched in providing the protection you deserve. No scare tactics, just common sense. BlockItPocket.com offers quality American-made options to alleviate and eliminate these invisible dangers. Learn more at BlockItPocket.com or call 888-315-9618. BlockItPocket.com, enhancing health and privacy.
Earthquake, floods, winter storms, prolonged power outages, or war. Each of us have had that moment when we recognize that we need to be better prepared. We typically do the same thing. We start with food storage, then we address the need for water. But have you considered heat storage? I'm talking about staying warm in the cold. Here are some things for you to consider. How will I keep my family warm? The standard answers are firewood, coal, or propane. But the problem with that if you need to be on the move is you can't take it with you. Another concern? There may come a time when you need to stay warm without smoke, like in times of war. There may even come a time when you can't burn fuel. The answers may be simpler and less costly than you think. For these answers, go to FortressClothing.com. Again, FortressClothing.com has the answers to your heat storage dilemma. Don't get stuck in the cold. FortressClothing.com. You'll never be cold again.
A revolution in body protection has arrived only at FortressSurvivalLLC.com. Introducing the revolutionary patented Level 3 Bulletproof Vest. 100% Kevlar, 100% American-made. Concealable, fully adjustable, and the lowest price on the market. Adult size normally $289.99, now just $250. Kid size normally $239.99, now just $200. Get affordable protection with a Level 3A Bulletproof Vest from FortressSurvivalLLC.com. For thou art my rock and my fortress. Psalm 31:3.
Class, if you'd like to join the 8,000 of us at sharkhunters.com, just go to sharkhunters.com, and you too can be a member and learn more about the real history. And Harry, how many of us do you think in Shark Hunters actually have memorabilia, medals, cloth, documents, and so forth from the German side of World War II?
Boy, that's kind of an ambiguous question. It's kind of like how much does a used
let me
car
ask you a
cost,
different
you
way.
know?
No. Here's what I'm saying. Do you think there's a great percentage of us at Shark Hunters who have, collected items from the German side of World War II? That's what I'm saying.
There are some that have massive collections. I mean, $1 million worth of stuff. And then others who are primarily interested in the history rather than the memorabilia. And of course, people who can't afford. If I had to pay for the artifacts we have, I wouldn't have them. Because, as you know, I don't take a salary. Nobody gets a salary at Shark Hunters, but we've got a lot of artifacts that were donated by the guys who actually had them during the war years, and they are, here in my collection. But there are others that have, literally millions of dollars worth of stuff in their collection.
Sure. What the point I was trying to drive home is that there are many in Shark Hunters, many of the membership, who actually take this very, very seriously and own pieces
not
of history.
Not only that, Vince, but as you know, I take a group every year over to Bavaria and Austria the last week of September, first week of October, and we visit the historic sites in Munich and also in Nuremberg. We go places in Nuremberg nobody else can go. The big tribunal where Hitler used to stand and make his speeches. Anybody can go there. But inside that tribunal is what they call the Golden Room, where Hitler used to have dinners or receptions, whatever, in there. The ceiling is still all inlaid with gold swastikas, and the sign on the door says Eingang verboten, which means only Harry's group is welcome here. The mayor's assistant is a member of Shark Hunters, and he's got keys to everything. We go there. We also go down to southern Austria for the Ulrichsburg Memorial. This is when hundreds of veterans, mostly German veterans, but French, Spanish, etc., come together, Americans and even a few Russians come together to remember everyone who fell in battle, no matter what uniform, no matter what flag. Anyone who fought honorably and died in battle is remembered. And you can only
Harry,
go there by...
and we have a very short amount of time yet left. Yeah. I'd like to ask you, for those who are doubting this, FW 390, what was that role in Hitler's escape to Argentina?
Yeah, that was, where the United States was rolling out half a dozen long-range aircraft every day. Germany built 3 super long-range aircraft, 6-engine Junkers Ju-390s. And they were numbered, or they were named V1, V2, and V3, which had nothing to do with the rocket weapons. That's just what they named them. V3 never got completed, and it was broken up either by the Allies or by the Germans at the end of the war. V2 was 3 meters longer than V1, so it had a lot more fuel, a lot more range. And V2 is the one that took Hitler out of Germany by way of Norway and then straight down to Uruguay, where it landed on a long road, and that's how he got out.
Harry Cooper, thank you so much for being with us today. And if you'd like to get the book, Hitler in Argentina, The Documented Truth of Hitler's Escape from Berlin, sharkhunters.com. And please, if you buy it, ask for an autographed copy. That's what mine is. Harry Cooper, thanks so much for being with us, class. We'll be on the Bunker Files this afternoon, live for 2 hours. Above all, honesty and integrity. What happens next is up to you. By now, you know that USAPrepares.com is your source for water filtration systems. Here at the farm, we use our water filtration system for drinking, cooking, and for our cats and dogs. Which brand are we using? Well, that would be the ProPure system, because it filters out pathogens, microbes, chlorine, and fluoride. Multiple sources indicate that fluoride is responsible for lowering our IQs by 5%. Now, how many of you would like to sign up for a lower IQ? USAPrepares.com offers ProPure water filtration systems and accessories at the same price as everyone else, except we offer an instant rebate. We buy them by the pallet loads and pass the savings on to you. And if you're outside of Missouri, there's no sales tax. And if this appeals to you, visit USAPrepares.com. That's USAPrepares.com. You can order online, and we have the ProPure water filtration systems in stock, ready to ship. USAPrepares.com. ProPure water filtration systems at the same price as everyone else, except we offer an instant rebate.
Sciatica, lower back pain, hip pain, poor posture. If you suffer from any of these problems, get ready to relax. Introducing an amazing product that's been in the market for over 25 years, the Sacro Wedgie. It was invented by a football coach using a common sense osteopath technique. He created this device to help his athletes by isolating and supporting the sacrum, which is the keystone of our anatomy. This wedge-shaped bone is in the center of our hips, where a lot of pain starts. Simply relax 20 minutes daily on the amazingly simple Sacro Wedgie and let gravity do the work, helping muscles rebalance and start releasing nerves. Sit in the Sacro Wedgie at the computer or while traveling to help correct posture to finally help relieve those stubborn aches and pains for only $33.95. It's made in the USA, so click the family-owned website at sacrowedgie.com, spelled SACROWEDGY.com, or call 1-800-737-9295. That's 1-800-737-9295. Relax your back pain away with the Sacro Wedgie.